And good evening, traders. It's TK here in the office. 14 September 2016, coming at you live from the west coast of the USA. It is the evening market wrap-up. Headlines for this evening. Big move today in copper, reaching out to our resistance a bit beyond as well. Gold higher on the day off of the value area low. Battling it out at 13.25. We'll take a look at that. Crude flirting with its nearest swing low after the EIA report. We'll talk about that too, the battle between crude inventory and gasoline. And finally, the ES rejected out of the value area boundary today and working its way further down. Okay, traders, here we go. So a little bit of a format change. We're attempting to do a headline period and then get into some of our market analysis. But I feel like these are a little long. I'd love some feedback. If you can, leave it in the comments section. I do take it seriously. These are here not only for me, but also for you. So if there's something that you like, let me know. If there's something that you'd like me to work on or fix a bit, the feedback is definitely welcome. Just please keep it constructive. So anyway, moving on to copper, we look at the chart here. Copper, as we said, we had a number of days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row trading above that volume point of control. This morning when we looked at the market, we saw a big move coming today, and we got it. We did feel volume weighted average price of our most recent run up, or excuse me, not run up, but our move down at about 2.15. As you can see, we moved up here into this high volume node. And, not unexpected. I honestly didn't think it was going to get this deep into that node, but it has. And that's okay. My position, I'm not actively trading copper, but if I were, and I've said this before, my general feeling is that copper's going short, but we needed to kind of reach out and touch some resistance first before we could do so. That's our copper call for tonight. Moving now over to gold, we're looking here at the daily chart of gold. You can see it's higher in the overnight. Today's action was a great little bounce off of the value area low. Not unexpected. We do feel gold's moving lower. Solid trading, but I do want to show you, we called a battleground today of 13.25, so please bear with me while I move in just to kind of show you what we were anticipating. Here's a 5-minute chart. The daily action started today. You can see right up there shows the active time, and 13.25 was our call. We were off by about $1, but look at the chop, folks. Just chop, chop, chop all day long. Tough to trade unless you're trading a range. If you were on a range today, this was probably a pretty good day for you. But again, we're swing traders over here, and we do feel gold is heading lower eventually. That's our review of gold today. Next in our lineup is crude. Crude had a big day down, not unexpected. If you did look at the API report from yesterday, you noticed there was a battle going on between distillates and oil. The EIA report today, not dissimilar. We had an unexpectedly low build in actual oil. Cushing inventories were also down, but the big story on the day and what drove a lot of this downward price action was the gasoline inventory. So take that for what it is. We also talked about an extreme amount of volatility in crude during the inventory report, and looky. I mean, this is just good luck to you if you know how to trade this. I need to take some education, but these are 5-minute bars, folks, and these are $1.50 plus moves within $1, and we all know how crude trades, right? 1 penny on price is $10 per contract, so that's these are big swings. That's the way crude trades on inventory report day. And our call, you see here, we're now getting into this volume area low. If you notice, that picked up from this morning. So as we're building volume down here, it begins to tighten this value area, and we should be aware of that. So 44.50, 44.30, not going to be unheard of. We do think that there's business to be done around here at this swing low, and we'll see what happens in the morning and how we trade overnight. But that's action in crude for 14th September 2016. Last but certainly not least is the S&P 500 E-mini contract. We've been talking about this moving lower ever since last week, and fortunately we realized the move that we saw. A lot of movement, right? Last night we talked about how this period of low volatility preceding this period of high volatility not happening, in the past 40 plus years. So this is a generational piece of action that we're witnessing here. Today, continuing to trade lower. Overnight, you can see is also in the red, but we held at 21.15 into the close. We'll pull up a 5-minute chart just so that we can do a little bit of deeper dive and analysis. That's I took a position today in the ES, and as I've been talking short, my position short. So, but let's roll in some footage of the 5-minute chart and do some deeper analysis of what happened today in the market. All right, folks, here we are, the ES. This is the 5-minute chart. You can see basically this is today's price action, and this is yesterday's price action. This is actually the open of yesterday and yesterday's dramatic sell-off. What we've done here is we've put in a Fibonacci retracement sequence. So what I like to do is to find where that first Fibonacci retracement really takes off, and start marking from there. So again, I want to put these lines in here. I want to put this Fibonacci retracement in here for a little bit of context when we go to talk about today's action. This was yesterday's trading. I do want to mention this is that 61.8% retracement that's so popular, but draw your attention here to the 21.16. This will be important when we start looking at today's trading action. So volume profile, leading off from the open, is what you can see here. Our dotted line is our volume weighted average price, and I'm gonna kind of zoom in and take the overnight action out of the equation so we get a better view of what's going on. The red line here is the upper value area boundary. The green line here is the volume point of control for the day, and the red line here you can see is the value area low boundary. Coming into the trading session, we traded higher, and notice right here, what do we have, folks? This is a 70% retracement. We talked yesterday about this in crude. I had a feeling, if kind of zoom it in here, right, you can see a big high here, trading range here, and then you had this 70% mark up here. It was just too irresistible for the traders to come up and try and tag these stops. We came in lower, traded around VWAP, developed a bit of a trading channel here for most of the session, and then sold off into the close. A bit of action again down here at that bottom 21.16. It was nice to see this trading as it did, trading down to it, back up to the volume point of control, and then back down and trading through this low. And then I don't know if you guys watched the actual closing for the contract today, but we sold off right into it and ended very near the low on the day. That was a really good indication, at least for me. Have some confidence in the short that I had on, and for me anyway, my money's on the short side of this equation. Though I could get blown out of my position tomorrow, but where I wanted to get in, looking at this trading action here, I should have confidence in that 70%. I really should. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I placed my order right here. It was a limit for right around 21.30, or right around the 61.8% retracement, and I've been able to ride the action down so far. So that's a little bit of a deeper dive into our ES analysis for the night. I'm going to cut it out there. We've talked earlier today. Take a look at the pre-market action from today and yesterday's post-market action report. We went into the economic calendar quite a bit. Tomorrow being Thursday, there's a number of actions happening early in the morning, pre-market, so please be aware of those. And Friday, traders, is quad witching day, so definitely a day to be to be cautious of. Next week, I can't stress enough, Bank of Japan meeting, Federal Reserve meeting. There's a bit of uncertainty in the market and a lot of volatility. So trade accordingly, trade wisely. Best of luck to you, and we'll check you in the morning.